Hey guys, and welcome back to Fringe Friday. I am Carmen, and today we are watching season 1, episode 6 of Fringe. Now, as always, I am very excited to get right into whatever insanity is sure to await in this episode. But really quick, let's talk about where we are. So, Peter is fully on board with the pattern now and trying to figure out the mystery of it. We have the observer, aka bald guy, and he is, we don't really know who or what he is. He doesn't have a name. We don't know where he comes from. He was writing in an unknown language. Might not be from Earth, lots of questions surrounding him and why he felt the need to save Peter and Walter, and if that has anything to do with what they're doing in regards to the pattern now, who's doing the pattern. Again, we don't know. We also had Olivia sort of trying to navigate her grief around Agent Scott in a way that honors the way that she felt about him and herself, but also is extremely murky because of the fact that he kind of betrayed her and made her feel like she couldn't trust herself, although also made more complicated by the fact that he now exists in her head, and it's not the normal grief way that somebody who you love that left exists in your head and in your heart, but in a very literal sense, he's actually like still in her head in a part of his consciousness. So I feel like I'm rambling. You know where we are. I'm gonna stop. Let's get into the episode. Why are they wearing hazmat suits, and why did they just dump her in the street? They haven't shown us her face, which worries me. Okay, no, her face looks okay.
Are you okay?
No, she's not. She's coughing. I'm worried.
What happened there?
That's a very non sequitur.
I'm trying to remember.
How you doing tonight?
He seems nice. He's probably gonna die. I think they're all gonna die.
I don't remember.
Okay.
They gave me a red medicine.
What was the red medicine?
They didn't tell me. And a blue one there was blue. They confused me. They hurt me, and...
I think you should come with me.
No.
I can help you.
No.
No, you're not in any trouble.
No,
you're
stop!
Not...
Stop it!
You need to talk to somebody.
Oh, well, this is really not helping the situation at all.
Available tonight, please.
His eyes.
What the hell is...
Yeah, I had a feeling they were all gonna die. Okay.
All we've been able to determine so far is that they're exposed to high levels of radiation. Curiously, the level of radiation coming from Emily's body is almost 3 times as great as the rest.
She was sick. Most likely Bellini's lymphosemia. Striped bruising on her neck and upper arms. Rash on her torso.
Do you know what he's talking about?
Bellini's lymphemia. It's an autoimmune disease. Irreversible.
And what's more curious, this woman seems to have been in remission. Cured even.
How do you cure a disease that's incurable?
Radiation? All that?
Her disease, if there's no cure...
Well, that's a question. Oh, the third question. Could I get some of this onion soup? It looks delicious.
I don't think you get it from somewhere else, maybe.
We understand that Emily was suffering from a fatal disease that had recently gone into remission.
That's right.
Care to explain how?
The circumstances surrounding Emily's death were unusual.
I'll get you her records if that'll help. She was finally starting to live again.
But they don't know how. They weren't like, this is weird.
You okay?
Should I be? You got what?
Young woman, what was done to her? You know, this coming your way today of all days.
What?
It's okay.
Does she have a sister?
I'm okay.
Did something happen to her?
I know you don't like to celebrate, but happy birthday.
Okay, it's her birthday. She doesn't like to celebrate her birthday. Did something happen to her sister on her birthday? Sorry, I need to pay attention.
Another case. What happened to her?
Do you know her, Mr. Williams?
Don't tell him.
No, I don't think so.
Don't tell him what happened to her.
It was like a miracle.
She started getting better.
The pain went away
She went into remission?
about 6 weeks ago.
But how are they going into remission for an incurable disease?
The last one was a test. This one counts. Is she a candidate?
Even better.
Let's get started then.
What does that mean? The last one was a test. This one counts.
I believe that these microscopic capsules are designed to release just the right amount of radiation at specific times to cure her disease.
Ah.
Oh, Peter, if you're going out, could you bring me back some cotton candy?
Cotton candy.
Yeah. Blue, not pink.
Blue is the best flavor of cotton candy. Gotta agree with them there.
Maybe we should come back later.
Before or after they do to Claire Williams what they did to Emily Kramer?
Olivia, this is a wake. These people are mourning their child. No. What is it that we're looking for?
Anything. Any connection she may have had.
Who are you? What are you doing in my daughter's room?
Mrs. Kramer, we're terribly sorry about your loss. We're with the FBI.
FBI. Today? You come here today?
Mrs. Kramer, please listen to me. Another girl's life is at stake.
What do you mean, what other girl?
Her name is Claire Williams.
Claire.
They know her?
The treatments.
For her Bellinis. Emily and Claire both had the disease. That's how they met.
What treatment, though?
They became such good friends.
He lied.
Why'd you lie to me, Mr. Williams?
Mm-hmm.
There's only 3,000 people in this country who suffer from Bellinis. Not enough for the drug companies to make a profit. So they're not looking into developing a cure.
Unfortunately, that's how it works.
3 months ago, we found the cure.
Time-release radioactive capsules.
We will need the names of the other patients involved.
I can give you some, but I don't know all of them. You'll have to ask Dr. Nadeem Patel.
Ah. So he was involved.
This will make you special.
How? How's it gonna make her special? Like, it's gonna make her head blow up?
All I do is give them updates.
Who's they?
Entropus.
The drug company?
You should just walk away. You have no idea who you're dealing with, what they're
I
capable
need a
of.
name, Dr. Patel.
Drop it!
I swear,
Put the
it was
gun
only
on
supposed
the
to be
ground.
updates.
Dr. Patel,
I'm a doctor.
put the gun on
a
the
healer.
ground now.
Do you want a name? David Estabrook.
I saw that coming.
To dig into some of their more controversial R&D.
Define controversial.
Prenatal gene therapy. Human-animal hybridization studies.
Weird shit.
I'm gonna let you in on a little secret, Amanda. It isn't about the money. It is about the resolve.
Okay.
Identity theft is a federal crime, Amanda.
So is kidnapping and murder. And it's Agent Dunham.
Tell me, what did you hope to get out of this conversation?
I already got it.
How old are you?
Is that your business?
You're an attractive young woman. I'm sure you want to start a family one day. It would be a shame if anything got in your way.
Are you threatening her somehow? Because threatening a federal agent is also a crime.
Dunham.
Maybe he found
I
out.
understand you paid a little visit to David Estabrook.
Yeah.
This task force that you're now part of, at best it's controversial. We need to be perfect.
He's guilty, and he just assumes he'll get away with it.
You think you're the only one who wants to find Claire Williams? You violated the cardinal law of our profession. You let your feelings drive your decision-making. And as a result, you've endangered not only Claire Williams' life, but everything we're trying to do here.
I mean, to be fair, she could have jeopardized the entire investigation by doing that. He realizes they're onto him. He wraps up shop, goes somewhere else, hurts other girls, you know.
Everything's as requested. She'll be stable and ready for transport by morning.
I'll call the client and schedule delivery.
Who ordered her? And to what ends?
I had a stepfather.
Okay.
When he drank, he'd accuse my mom of seeing other men and then he'd hit her.
Oh, okay.
She never called the police. Not once. Then one day he beat her really bad and broke her nose. I was 9. Stormed out of the house, got in his car, drove off. My mom's crying. I can't help her. And then I hear his car. He kept a gun in the drawer, near his bed. When he opened the door, I pulled the trigger. Then I pulled it again. And I can still see his face.
Oh, damn.
Almost daring me to finish. But I couldn't. They took him to the hospital and said that he couldn't be saved, but he didn't die. And then one night he just slipped away. I never saw him again. And I still blame myself because I should have done it. I should have killed him. And I know that rationally he is not responsible for all the bad things in the world, but he is responsible for some of them. And every year he sends me a card on my birthday just to let me know
that he's still out there.
That he's still out there.
That's so fucked.
It's your birthday today.
How can you? You were a child.
You know, you still look just the same as you did when you were a child. Oh, I doubt you'll remember, but you and I spent a good deal of time together. Some of it right here.
Excuse me?
Your father and I were quite close when we were both much younger.
Quite? What the hell is that word? How close is that?
I also know that you have managed to successfully conduct business with these and other tribal concerns in parts of the world traditionally resistant to development.
She wants tit for tat.
I give you the exact location you want, and in exchange, I get to come to you someday, and you
ask for a favor.
No questions asked.
That's dangerous. That's dangerous, Peter. Peter. I think he's gonna do it, but it's dangerous. That's dangerous.
5620 Stapleton Avenue. The facility where Claire Williams is being held.
He did it.
If I pull the trigger on this and the information's bad,
it's good.
I mean, it's from Nina Sharp, so I assume it is good, but he's lying about how he got it.
We've got a visible heat signature from the isotope.
Visible heat signatures. Radioactive isotopes don't give
Walter.
Olivia, this is the antidote.
Okay, Charlie, we're coming.
Good thing she was distracted.
Step away from that, please. Where is she?
She already pressed the button, though. What did the button do?
I know you're scared, but I need for you to listen to me. I need you to come to the door. I can't come in there. My head. That's medicine. I need you to come to the door and take it. I can't come in there.
Hurry, girl. Hurry. Hurry. Oh my god, girl. Girl.
Keep coming. I need you to take the syringe. I'm gonna tell you what to do. Claire?
Hurry.
Claire?
Inject it. Inject it.
Claire, right now you need to jab yourself in the side of your neck. Oh my god!
Hurry. Girl. Do it.
Jab it in!
Did she press it? And then she like... I think so.
I have a law firm on retainer that charges more by the hour than you make in an entire year.
I'm still gonna walk you out that door in handcuffs for resisting questioning. So the press that I tipped off can splash your picture all over the news. You may not answer to me or the federal government, but you do answer to a board of directors. And I wonder what their response will be when they have their company dragged into the middle of a murder investigation.
I don't know why that makes me emotional. I'm just proud of her because, like, fuck that guy and people like him who think that they're above the law because they have money. Can't stand him.
I understand that you think I acted too emotionally. Putting aside the fact that men always say that about women they work with, I'll get straight to the point. I am emotional. I do bring it into my work. It's what motivates me.
It's what makes her better.
It helps me get into the headspace of our victims, see what they've seen. Even if I don't want to, even if it horrifies me. And I think it makes me a better agent.
Exactly.
You can't fire me. But I hope you don't.
You're not getting off that easy, Agent Dunham. I'll see you in the morning.
I'm just proud of her.
And remember tonight, please, the red toothbrush is mine.
White for Walter.
White for Walter. Walter White. I don't know if Breaking Bad was on at this point.
I know where you got your information. About Claire Williams. What was her price?
Nothing untoward, if that's what you're worried about.
Peter.
Come on, you don't have to worry about me. I'm a big boy. I can take care of myself.
Can you? I'm not convinced that you can, hon.
There was no letter today, was there?
No.
Maybe he's finally gone.
Happy birthday.
Did he send it to her house? What a creep. He's not there, is he? That's disturbing. Yeah, I figured that's where it was gonna end. So that was a hell of an episode. I loved so much of it. Well, all of it. I don't know why I said it in that weird way, but I thought that it was very interesting and it gave me a lot to talk about. So strap in, get some popcorn, a little snack, a pizza, something, and hang out with me while I ramble at you about things. A really interesting theme throughout this episode, and I really love the way that Fringe so far hasn't shied away from topics that I don't think a lot of shows really delved into, especially in 2008. I mean, this was quite a few years ago, and a lot of the things that Fringe is focusing on are things that just really people have brought up in recent years. Now, you guys might recall in the first episode, I was very upset by the conversation between Broyles and Olivia regarding the woman who was assaulted by his friend, and there was the conversation of, should we ruin his life for one lapse of judgment, I think is the exact wording that Broyles used. And 1, yes. 2, yes. 3, yes. We should. And I like that Olivia brought up, what about these women's lives? And I think that the show is kind of, at least I hope that it is, making a commentary about the way that women are treated in society opposed to men, as well as the difference. This episode brought up women, class structure, and also mental health. And that's a lot. And childhood trauma, abuse, domestic violence. Like, this episode had a lot inside of it to unpack. So just bear with me as I try to unpack all of it. All right, so in no real particular order, I'm going to talk about everything. So, in the beginning of the episode, we had the lady who was thrown out of the bus, can't remember her name, and she wandered into this diner and sat down and was just trying to compose herself and get her thoughts together. Now, the one guy, I think, had the best intentions, I think, because he was just trying to figure out if she was okay, what was going on with her, and all that stuff. And he called the cop, who, I don't know if he was supposed to be portrayed this way, but I feel the cop was incredibly insensitive, and what he did was unnecessary. Like, he kind of questioned her until she tried to, like, open up about what was happening, and then he wanted her to go with him, and when she didn't want to, he put her in handcuffs and was trying to 5150 her, which, if you don't know, is a temporary psych hold on somebody who you think is unable to, who you think might be in danger or a danger. And so, yeah, it's just like a 72-hour, I think, psych hold. And I just had a real issue with that because I didn't like the way that the cop handled that, and I thought that it's very indicative of, one, she didn't show any signs of being mentally unfit. She seemed hurt. She seemed upset. She seemed confused. She didn't seem like she needed a 5150. She seemed like she needed a warm cup of tea and a hospital and a therapist, maybe, to try to talk to her very gently and be kind to her. So I didn't love that. And I think that that's also, I don't know if it is, because this was 2008, of course, but it feels to me, watching this in 2021, as sort of a commentary on police and mental health, and the way that, one, police shouldn't handle mental health in the first, I'm gonna maybe I don't want to go too hard in this video, but police should not handle mental health in the first place. Also, I don't think that she needed police to be called. Just my opinion. Another thing that I think was really interesting and worth talking about in this episode is David Westerbrook, and just how much I hate him, I guess. And I understand Olivia's hatred of him as well. And, obviously she has a past, which is another reason for her hatred with him, her childhood trauma, which I will talk about. But it's just, I don't like people who are evil like he is, and who think that because they have money and they have prestige, that the rules of any, society don't apply to them. And I hate that they're often right, I just hate that we live in a society that is so lenient and understanding and forgiving of those who have enough money and power, and is very harmful and damaging and unforgiving to those who do not have money or power. Also, quick aside, they were talking about how bulimia, the disease that the two women had in this episode, is such a small disease that Big Pharma essentially doesn't feel the need to try to develop a cure or a treatment for it because it affects so little or so few people that they wouldn't make money doing that, which unfortunately feels very accurate and true. I don't know to the extent that it is true, but I 100,000,000% believe that that is the way that these companies operate. And I think it's very unfortunate. I also think that the way that these companies operate is that if a disease or illness is very, very prevalent and they are making a lot of money off of it, then they are also less motivated to find a treatment or a cure in particular. Treatment, yes. Cure, it doesn't help them, so why would they be invested in that? You know? Maybe that's a little bit cynical. I'm sorry if it is, but I think that I just think it's real, you know? It's real, and that's unfortunate, and I wish that it wasn't that way, but it is. And I think that it's interesting that this episode sort of commented on that and the way that companies really hold people's lives and their health hostage to whether or not they can make money off of it, which is pretty fucked up if you think about it. Okay, so I want to talk about Olivia and the revelation of her childhood. Not her entire childhood, but a very, I think, important piece of it that we got in this episode that is unfortunately carrying over into her adulthood. And that is that when she was a child, she had a stepfather. And this stepfather was very abusive towards her mother. And her mother could not or would not leave him. You know, I'm not victim blaming. I understand that when you are in that situation, that, or at least I've seen, I watched a video of a therapist say that a lot of times when people are in that situation, they have to shut off the part of their brain that tells them that leaving is a possibility in order to cope and survive the reality of their life as it is now. And so I totally understand and feel very sad for her mom, but she tried to protect her mom and she was too scared, too unsure of taking the final shot. I mean, she was 9 years old. She was a 9-year-old who had witnessed incredibly traumatic events. Like there's no version of this scenario where even for a millisecond, any of it is her fault, you know? And I just feel so bad that she feels like any evil that that man did since he left that night after he went to the hospital and got better is her fault, because she, at 9 years old, couldn't pull the trigger for a final time and take someone's life. Like, it explains her trust issues with men, at least some of them. There might be more that we don't know about, but I hope that she got therapy and that she got a lot of it in intense childhood therapy for this very traumatic life that she led and this very traumatic thing that she had to do. I don't know that she did, but I hope it. And I feel like it tells us so much about her as a character that she, even at 9 years old, had this desire to protect so fiercely that she could do that. And with seemingly no regard for her own life. Like, clearly this person is unstable. She didn't say that he ever hit her or hurt her. But even if he hadn't, even if her mother had been able to stave that off, the fear that he could and that he would had to have been so much, you know? I don't know. I just love her, honestly. And like, it's making me emotional to think about it because I'm really proud of her. And I think that she did the best that she could. And I absolutely freaking loved the scene where she went to talk to Broyles later and told him that, one, saying that she's too emotional in the workplace is an excuse that men like to use to dismiss the valid concerns and actions of women. And it's a stupid statement. And also, I love that the show, as well as the character of Olivia, is making the statement that women being emotional, having that emotional connection, being able to use that is a strength, 100,000%. That it helps her be better at her job to give so much of a shit, you know? That being emotional is a strength and not a weakness. It's not a detriment to her performing her job. It's an asset and a strength and completely essential to the way that she operates and the way that she does her job, essentially. And I just love that the show took that stance and that they let Olivia take that stance. And it's not a stance that you often see. Women are still, to this day, I mean, in the 2016 election, part of the thing that people didn't want Hillary to win, right, was women are too emotional. And then, I mean, you know, I'm not going to get into all that, but it's a thing that is still prevalent in society today, and it's a shame. It's a shame that people can't see that the things that make women women are also some of our biggest strengths and assets. And yeah, I love that for her. Now, on the flip side, I do see what Broyles is saying. I do think that just because I know the way that law works and the way that money and power work, that it was very dangerous to their investigation for her to go to Estabrook and to have that scene of questioning him. I do think that it could have been a detriment to their case. But I think she also is aware of the fact that he has enough money and power that it doesn't matter, that he's not going to go to jail, and that there's no case that they could really put against him that he couldn't try to explain his way out of with the money and power that he has. And so it's not really a detriment to their case, if that makes sense. Yeah, I don't know. I really loved Olivia in this episode, and I felt very proud of her and very proud of the show for the stance that it took on emotion and women, and that being a strength rather than a weakness. Okay, and the last thing that I want to talk about is Peter going to Nina Sharp, and one, he owes her a favor now, a no questions asked favor, which is terrifying because I don't trust her, like, at all. Like, at all. 0% trust in that woman that I have, that she has our character's best interest at heart, right? Something else very interesting about that scene was, what the hell did she mean by her and Walter knew each other quite well? The quite is what is getting me. Like, what you alluding to? You know? Doesn't it feel elusive? Not elusive. Like she's alluding to something. Also, She knew Peter when he was a kid. Also, she knew Walter at all. And Peter when he was a kid, which I guess makes sense because she's been with William Bell for a long time. But also, I just want to meet William Bell. Like, when am I going to meet William Bell? Because that's a thing that I would like to happen. Anyway, I think that that's all that I have to say about this episode. There's probably a lot more that I could deep dive into and discuss. And honestly, keep you here for even longer, which I would if I could remember anything else at this moment. But I can't, so I'm ending it. Thank you guys so much for watching. As always, if you want, you can like, comment, and subscribe. Literally no pressure here, though. If you do want, though, you can watch the next episode of Fringe right now over on Patreon, which is linked in the description below. You can also watch this entire reaction, as well as all the previous ones to Fringe, watch-along style, over on Patreon as well. Yeah, that's it. Until next week. Bye, guys.